Well as 13 Russians and 3 companies named in the Mueller indictment. Joining me now are Naveed Jamali, MSNBC contributor, Daily Beast columnist, and former FBI double agent who wrote the book How to Catch a Russian Spy, and Joyce Vance, MSNBC contributor, former U.S. attorney, and professor at the University of Alabama School of Law. Joyce, this week the Trump administration seemed to validate the Mueller investigation with those sanctions against the 13 Russians he indicted. Today, Dowd says the investigation is fraudulent and should be ended. What do we make of these conflicting messages?
The conflicting messages add up to one conclusion, which is that this White House does not want any investigation of the president. They're willing to be forced into steps that they have to take. After all, Congress passed sanctions, and there had been a lot of focus on the White House's failure to impose them. So they took the safest course, only putting sanctions on people who were named in the indictment, not going very far beyond that, and certainly not creating the list of oligarchs that Congress had asked the White House to do as a step towards imposing sanctions. Dowd's comments this morning are deeply troubling. The suggestion that somehow the investigation should be shut down when Mueller is clearly making progress, and there are a lot of questions that remain unanswered, that whatever the outcome, whether Trump is cleared or whether he ultimately is charged or people close to him are, the investigation needs to move forward until those questions are fully answered.
And Joyce, assuming that it does move forward, McCabe said that his firing was part of the ongoing war against the FBI and the special counsel. Now we know the Wall Street Journal is reporting that McCabe has already turned over his notes, those personal memos he talked about on Trump, to Mueller. How does McCabe's firing impact the investigation, do you think?
So you can envision if there's, say, ultimately a trial and McCabe were to take the witness stand. McCabe would be one of the most ideal witnesses to back up the testimony of former FBI Director Jim Comey about Trump's efforts to shut down the investigation, to get Comey to shut it down, because Comey and McCabe were talking contemporaneously. So you could envision a prosecutor putting McCabe on the witness stand, and the cross-examination after this little rush to firing that we saw last night would go something like this. Well, Mr. McCabe, you were fired from the FBI for lying, weren't you? And McCabe would now have to answer yes. So whether there were valid reasons for disciplining McCabe or not, this rush to judgment really looks political, and it looks like it's intended to hamstring the Mueller investigation.
Naveed, what's really the point of the Treasury Department sanctions this week? All the people sanctioned here are Russian operatives, spies. Will they ever actually be impacted by these sanctions?
No, in fact, quite the opposite. Right now, I guarantee you in Russia, they're all high-fiving each other. Remember, these are people that worked against the United States. By putting them on a sanction list, we've basically given them a medal. We've said, your work rose to the level to cause such damage that we're going to sanction you. It really, not only does it have no impact on Russia proper or Russia's ability to conduct these operations, you know, if you get PNG or persona non grata, or you get added to a sanction list and you're a Russian operative, that means you were successful. If the Russians sanctioned me, I would print that out and frame it. I'd be proud of it. And I'm sure it's exactly what these people are doing today.
And Naveed, the Obama administration issued some sanctions late in 2016 that are sort of repeated in this move this week, and the Military Intelligence Agency, GRU, was highlighted here again. What can you tell us about that agency, and how does it compare to the FSB?
That's a good question. So when I was operational, my Russian case officer was actually a GRU officer. He was here under diplomatic cover. He was an intelligence officer. His job was to collect intelligence, and my job was to spy for him. So there's the GRU, which is, as you said, military intelligence, and there's the FSB, which is primarily their domestic intelligence agency. Now, there's very much a question here, which is, are these intelligence agencies in competition? You know, with what happened in the UK, is we're not quite sure that Vladimir Putin has complete control, which would be a terribly frightening development if there is competition amongst these intelligence agencies.
Joyce, we only have a couple of seconds left here, but I want to ask you about this subpoena of the Trump organization. Why would the special counsel issue a subpoena to Trump's company when the understanding had been that it was complying voluntarily to this point?
The subpoena likely signals that Mueller was not getting the fulsome compliance that he expected. It could be that the investigation has taken a new turn, or that documents he knew existed weren't being turned over to him in discovery. Signals that we should expect a far-flung investigation into foreign financial dealings.
All right, Naveed Jamali and Joyce Vance, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we will hear from the insider who blew the whistle on the company claiming to have helped President Trump win the White House. The shocking allegations of how they tracked millions of voters without them knowing it when we come back.
There are those who were sure of it, others who felt a connection, many more who never saw it coming. But now they know.